What up, Lugnuts.Guapo, coming at you from Texas Hot Ride. We're here to talk about this year my, or soon to not be mine, 1993 FXRP, and it's time to say goodbye.
That's awesome.
What up, Lugnuts.Guapo, coming at you from Texas Hot Rides, and huge shout out to them for letting me use their photo booth, which is absolutely huge. So thankful for it, man. We're here to talk about this year my, or soon to not be mine, 1993 FXRP, and it's time to say goodbye. So if y'all follow me on Instagram, you know already that this did not look like this when I first bought it. As a matter of fact, it was kind of like a pink, purplish looking thing. You can go back to my channel and see another video where I actually bought it, like rode it for the first time. It did not look anything like this, so yeah. We'll just give you a quick little highlight reel of what it looks like now. Roll the tape. On this 1993 FXRP, and this is a windshield model, not the fairing model, because I know a lot of people would be like, oh, if it's an RP, then why does it have an RP fairing? Well, A, it didn't come with one because it's a windshield model, and B, this was modified to the very 90s style. That includes, and not limited to, the Mirage collection that was all over this bike. You would see it starting right here on the master cylinder, or the brake master cylinder, and then the gas cap, which came with this bike. Then I bought a 1996 Wide Glide Evo Wide Glide, and it had the Mirage timing cover, and of course that proceeded to snowball, and I was like, I got to get the rocker box covers on top of that. And then a buddy of mine bought an FXR, and it had these mirrors, which happened to be part of that Mirage collection. I was like, full circle, put everything on it. I love it. It's very still kind of 90s grandpa style, and I love it. As you can see, I left the stock turn signals on. I just wanted to look different. Everybody's doing the turn signal delete, word on the license, but whatever. I like to do it a little different, and so I did. As I said earlier, this bike used to be a different color. It was a chameleon paint job, and it had a full RP fender as well, which I still have. And I decided that, you know, I need to choose a color that I haven't seen on a Harley Davidson. Most people go with a Harley Davidson color, or, you know, you've seen it on. I'm sure on Instagram you've seen a lot of FXRs, and they all look different. This right here, I kept it a secret because I didn't want to tell anyone what color it was, because I wanted to be the only one with a Harley in this color. This is Audi Galaxy Blue. Audi, the car manufacturer. My buddy here at Texas Hot Rides has an Audi Q8, and it's this particular color, and I absolutely love it. It stands out, it pops, and doesn't look like anything that's out there. I went with those retro badges because they are my absolute favorite. They've always been my favorite, and I think overall it completes the bike. Got a crater fairing that I got from a buddy of mine, a windshield that I got from another buddy of mine, and these grips are not my first choice, but I thought eventually I was going to change them. You know, they kind of go with the 90s theme, and they're chrome, and I absolutely love it. the pipe itself, it's a Sawiki 2-in-1 that came out from a Dyna Lowrider S. And yes, there's some modifications that had to happen. I went onto the motor really easily, but I had to make a bracket for this, and I had to cut the back of this pipe where I had the bracket, and I had to relocate it below it. And yeah, it snapped once on both ends because my welding skills weren't up to par, and then got that taken care of immediately right after that, haven't had any issues. When it comes to this pipe in particular, I know that Sawiki it's under new management or something along those lines, and their pipes are not the quality that this one is, and I mean that in a really good way. When I was writing this pipe was pretty new, I would say, and all the contents inside this pipe just evaporated into thin air, and it made this really obnoxious rattling sound, and well, we fixed that. Took a Vance & Hines pipe, took the stuffing out of it, shoved it in there, and voila! This bike sounds amazing, loved everything about it, and I'm gonna miss it. I truly am gonna miss it. Also, I got the OG FXR Fox shocks, which are okay. I'm pretty sure they've seen better days. Screaming Eagle intake that came also from that White Glide Mikuni carburetor, EV27 cam, and of course, twisted spokes, because that's what it came with. And honestly, I haven't seen another FXR near me anyways, with twisted spokes and very 90s, and I just had to keep them because they just look different and I love it. So you may ask, why am I selling this beautiful motorcycle? Well, maybe you think it's a horrible motorcycle. I don't know, I don't care, because I love this motorcycle, especially now that I tinted the windshield and that front headlight. I always like that grandpa look, I love everything about this bike. Absolutely love everything about it. And I'm gonna miss it. Why am I selling it? That's a pretty easy question to answer, and it's just for my daily commutes, 30-45 minutes every day on DFW traffic. This was just not cutting it for me. And when I was on the Guapo Glide, I just rode that every day, put 20,000 miles in a year just in commuting alone, not including road trips or anything like that. And that was kind of it's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it definitely makes life not as enjoyable. But this bike has served me well, and it's now time to move on to the next thing. And on top of that, the other issue that I have with this motorcycle is that parts for this are not as available as something like a twin cam. Yes, I know that's quite a loaded statement coming from the awesome shortages that we're having lately, and you can't really get parts for anything nowadays, but you still can get more parts for a twin cam or an M8 than you would for an FXR. And of course that applies specifically to an FXR, because if you buy an Evo Dyna or a Softail, you can still get a lot of parts for those are more available and less expensive than this here FXR. With that said, the reason is, if I want to do a road trip and this thing breaks on me, it'll be more of a pain to take care of than, say, a twin cam bagger or a Softail or whatever maybe anything newer than this in this particular model. And I want to go to Mexico. It's still on my bucket list, a road trip to Mexico, go to my hometown. And if I take this FXR, I know for sure if something were to happen, there's no getting parts for it at that point. So they're very reliable, but things happen. And I had a couple buddies hit me up. I wasn't even trying to sell it, but they made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and here we are, saying goodbye to good old FXRP. And I never even got to give it a name, but I'm gonna miss it. And there wasn't a lot of videos on it because I've been busy, but yeah. So there you have it. So what's next? I guess you'll find out soon, right? Catch y'all later.